You're listening to the latest dose of Bipolar Recorder. This podcast may cause dizziness and blurred vision. Enjoy.
This is Hunter back with another installment of Bipolar Recorder. So glad to have you joining us today. I was able to get Alyssa back on the podcast, and we had a really interesting conversation that covered all sorts of different topics. You know, we talk about everything from electroconvulsive therapy to drug addiction to all sorts of other stuff, and it was a really great conversation. We had a pretty lengthy section of the episode where we talked about the 12-step program, and even though Alyssa these days does use marijuana and alcohol in moderation, the 12-step program was still something that was very important to her in her life, so she spends a lot of time talking about that. There were a couple of sections that I had to edit just because after we recorded, we decided that they were a little bit too personal, so she asked that I remove them from the show, which, as always, I'm happy to do anytime an interviewee has something like that. I respect their wishes. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started.
Is that the start of the recording?
The recording has just started, and I am back here with Alyssa again. Thank you so much for coming back.
You're so welcome, Hunter.
You sound great. How are you feeling since the last time we recorded?
It's been a wild ride.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10 today, 10 being the best, how would you say you're feeling?
3.
3?
But I was like a 1.5 yesterday.
Ooh.
So I woke up and I was like, yeah, woo, I feel great.
Yeah, that's like twice as good.
Yeah, like double. It's just easier when you're not feeling shitty. Like your thoughts aren't as dark and self-attacking, perhaps. I don't know how your thought. I mean, this is me being partially unmedicated and receiving weekly prefrontal electroconvulsive therapy treatments.
Right.
It's really intense. It's under anesthesia every Wednesday, and it is at 6 a.m. in the morning, and it's super scary, but I'm out by like 9:30.
Yeah, it's a fairly quick procedure, and you undergo that for major depressive disorder, which some people abbreviate as MDD, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, like, how are you feeling with that? You've been doing these treatments for a long time now, and we touched on it the first time you were on the show, but how effective would you say you feel that they are?
I was very self-doubting yesterday with my just overall bad mood and bad physical feeling. So I got really like, why am I doing this? And just like questioning all this stuff. It seems like so much I'm going through for some promise of a life I once knew.
Yeah.
Like, I know how I am and how I was when I was little and who I am as a person.
Right.
There's just been experiences that have damaged me, and I definitely would say I have undiagnosed PTSD from it.
Okay.
And an undiagnosed anxiety disorder.
Yeah. So
which I self-medicate.
Right. And how do you self-medicate for that?
Well, if I lived in DC, it wouldn't be illegally. And I guess it's not a crime anymore in Virginia.
Yeah.
But I use THC. And I did try CBD for a year almost.
Yeah.
And because I did miss the active, and I don't know, I like everything about it. Kind of like how people who love coffee like everything about coffee. Like,
Are you talking about the CBD or the THC?
they're identical. You can't tell the difference visually.
Oh, okay. So you mean like the actual flower bud?
It's a chemical compound that's different, but the buds of the marijuana plant, you can dry them and smoke them, and like people smoke tobacco leaves.
Mm-hmm.
But the marijuana leaves don't get you any psychoactive effects, or the CBD, and now it's pretty widespread usage. Like there's like CBD lotions at the drugstore, and I don't even know, but
Yeah, I used to try using CBD. I used it in the liquid dropper form that you would like put under your tongue, and I don't know how effective I would say I thought it was. I didn't really notice a big change when I was on it, but obviously with THC, because it's so much more psychoactive, there's a lot of cognitive impact there.
yeah, and there are people on both sides of the issue. Like, is it helpful? Is it harmful? And I'll just say it's the only drug that it has never killed a person ever.
THC?
Yeah, like
on its own, you mean? Not
from its chemical effects. You
Right.
cannot overdose on it.
Yeah, I bet you
It's
probably could. No,
it's the
no.
only drug where it cannot kill you.
Even let's say,
You're just stoned out of your gourd.
what if
You
there
just
was
took like 5 bong, or like what do people used to do in the they'd fill a 5-gallon bucket with water, like a gravity bong.
a gravity bong
Take 5 gravity bongs.
and hit him, and you're not gonna die,
You're not gonna die.
But-
You might pass out.
right? What if like a 1-ton bale of hemp fell on you and crushed you? You could die that way. Or you could die while driving a car while stoned. No, but I know what you're saying. I'm just saying marijuana is
I'm
not
saying
like 100%.
the phytochemical effects of it there is no LD50 of marijuana.
Yeah.
THC
Can you tell the audience what LD50 stands for?
stands for the lethal dose to kill a 50-gram person, or like
Okay.
I think which is about 100 pounds. I don't know. Okay, please explain it better.
I actually don't know how to explain it, but
Well, yeah, it means the lethal dose needed to kill a person.
okay. And like, so like, let's just say fentanyl would be like not very much would be needed to cause death. Whereas with marijuana, there is not that risk. So there's not the risk of overdosing from it, but that doesn't mean that it can't have bad side effects.
Yeah, it's it's illegal to drive and smoke.
That's right.
And you can be pulled over and
Charged
treated
with DUI and
Yeah.
stuff. As you should be. I mean, driving under the influence is bad no matter
Some
what.
people say it makes them more cautious drivers.
So do alcoholics.
Yeah, no, and there is a lot of like old wives' tales around pot, I think, that need dispelling. It's hard though. As someone with a mental health disorder diagnosis, you could go to both camps of psychiatrists, and one would say absolutely nothing, and other would say within moderation or something, or like go live your life.
Yeah, I've had psychiatrists tell me both things over the years. It seems like there's not a common consensus on it, probably because there's just not a lot of research at this moment.
There's so much research.
But I mean specifically for...
There's so much. If you want to sign, I can talk to the audience about, you can go to the NIH.
National Institutes of Health.
Yeah, they have... you sign up to be a volunteer for different types of studies. If you have a certain diagnosis, you could be like part of the placebo group or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's helpful for like studying psychological papers. I don't know what they...
Yeah, I was just mentioning that because I had a psychiatrist once who was like, there's not enough research done on bipolar disorder and marijuana.
It's so hard. Like, tell us unspecifically about what happened to you and why I'm here. It's hard to... It's kind of like herding cats, getting bipolar people together.
Okay.
So,
oh, you mean like for the purposes of a study? Because it's
Yeah.
difficult to find the participants for the research.
And to get them to keep going for the whole length of the study.
Yeah, because of the mood changes and motivation changes and
As
stuff.
soon as it gets boring and there's no more incentive.
I've been having trouble getting guests to follow through on recording this podcast with me because it is kind of like herding cats sometimes, because we'll schedule things like a week in advance and people will be feeling great and they're like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I want to do the show. And then at the last minute, they'll be like, hey, dude, like I just got hit with the worst wave of depression and, you know, I'm not going to be able to record, which I completely understand.
As someone who only deals with waves of depression, I got hit with one this morning too before we started this.
Yeah.
And, you know, it does stop me in some parts of my life, some aspects of my life. Like, I'll let it stop me. And other parts, I've just learned to have to ride the wave.
Yeah.
And show up anyways. And no one can even tell I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah.
To begin with, because no one can read your mind.
Sure. And you were talking on the first episode that you did for Bipolar Recorder. You were talking about how it takes a lot of energy to put on that happy face. And that's very taxing for you. And I can relate to what you're saying. I often have to do the same thing, like when I'm at work or with a group of friends or whatever, and I don't want to bring people down. You know, you got to try.
Well, it depends on what the rewards of the social situation are. Like, no one wants to be the outcast.
Right. Yeah.
So how much energy you devote to each particular relationship kind of sometimes matters, like how you feel about that, like hierarchy or whatever. Coworkers versus friends versus people you knew from school versus...
Yeah, like the level of effort that you think it's worth for each situation.
To catch up. I know that you... it's hard for those diagnosed with bipolar to maintain long-term relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And without the drama that typically follows those diagnosed with bipolar, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I've witnessed the host of this podcast, Hunter, keep in touch with his friendships from college and interesting people he connected with over the years and still appreciates, and I support that effort, and I want to emulate it myself in how I mean, my friends are asking if I'm dead.
Yeah, you're
literally.
Yeah,
they're and I still don't, nothing.
Because you were saying to me before we started recording that you're just not in a place right now where you feel ready to reach back out to people, right?
As you were just saying, it can be so taxing to put on that public persona versus private persona. Mm-hmm. And Yeah, I mean, they want to know, like, where the fuck have you been? Sorry,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't.
No, yeah,
swear.
you can swear. This is
Yeah.
a very swearing-friendly show.
But it's like, there are times when I doubt my own worth and the value I provide to other people via their relationship with me, and just doubt any, positive aspect I could possibly have on anyone around me.
Has that been harder during COVID? Has it made it even more difficult?
It's made it easier
Really?
to be isolate.
Yeah, because it's like you have an excuse to kind of just withdraw from things.
I'm being socially responsible and it's so easy for me to, just me and my cat get along fine. We both sleep 23 and a half hours a day. No, I wish. But, like,
Well, you do sleep a lot, though, which is a symptom of depression.
it is. And I noticed with this last ECT treatment, I had like the first night of insomnia I've had in years.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think it's just because your brain was too stimulated, or do you think it was a side
It was just I kept tossing and turning all night. Like I couldn't get comfortable. I was hot, then I was cold, then I was sweaty, then I had a dream and I woke up and then I still felt like I didn't sleep. And it was just all night like that, like 5:30, 6:30.
Yeah.
So one of those mornings, like you're like, ugh, it's 2:30.
I've definitely had chronic insomnia during periods of depression and during periods of mania. It sucks.
Never have it.
Yeah, so it was unusual for you.
Out of this world.
So
I don't know how
strange.
people, kudos to those with chronic insomnia.
Oh man, it's the worst. It drains you so much, and it makes your other symptoms so much worse too.
Let's talk about how long each of us have stayed up consistently.
I think
Which is as dangerous as driving drunk.
Oh yeah,
let me tell
definitely. Driving while extremely fatigued, that's extremely dangerous. To answer your question, when I say chronic insomnia, I don't mean that I sleep for 0 hours a night. I mean that I sleep for like less than 3 hours, and it's a restless sleep that, like you were describing, like
but for how
tossing
long?
and turning. For the longest time, I would say probably about 5 or 6 consecutive days while manic, maybe longer than that. And that's when that can cause psychosis too.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm asking about it.
Yeah. How about you?
Mine was, I think I passed out at 6.5 days.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I was trying to make it to a week and I couldn't.
Were you intentionally trying to stay up?
It was just this astrological constellation of events with schoolwork and projects due final week, and I just in parties and
Yeah.
maybe not feeling like I had to sleep the first 3 days of it, and then I had to like run on fumes to get shit done.
Yeah. Lots of environmental factors coming into play there.
And then when I would try to sleep, I'd be in the middle of Richmond and it's loud as fuck. Like I had blackout curtains, earplugs, like you name it, probably headphones to
Yeah.
sleep in.
Downtown Richmond, Virginia.
Oh my goodness. In a like 18th century house, row house.
So it's like creaky and the walls are thin anyway and stuff.
Infested with rodents.
Ew, no. Yeah, that's
The plumbing didn't work.
That doesn't sound like a comfortable place to sleep in.
There's one bathroom between the four of us.
Oh my gosh, you were living with 3 other people at the
3
time.
long-haired girls in a shower that did not catch hair.
Oh my god, ew.
It was always clogged.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm sorry that happened.
And it was the party house. Like, I'd come back, like, so tired, maybe.
And people would just be like raging.
You could smell the rum walking up. It was on the second floor of the row house.
Yeah.
And you could smell it as you like ascended in the atmosphere.
Ugh.
The booty sweat and rum
Ew.
stink.
I gotta say, since I haven't drank in several years now, I can almost immediately tell, like, if people have been drinking just from like the smell coming through the pores of their skin and stuff. Even if it's just been like 1 or 2 beers, like I feel like I detect it so quickly these
You
days.
exhale 5% of what you drink, I think.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I would believe that.
And you would probably smell the metabolites of it quicker than even maybe the liquor on the breath.
Yeah. Have you noticed, to shift gears a little bit, it's October right now at the time of this recording, and I've been noticing a lot of people in our social, I don't even know, what would you call DBSA, a support group, right? For bipolar and depressed people.
Are you seeing the changing of the seasons impact the mood of those around us?
Yeah, that's definitely exactly what I'm getting at. I've noticed a lot of people seem more depressed and irritable.
Almost worse than winter.
Yeah, it's like this.
Because it's the change. You don't know what to do about it, but it's coming and you can't stop it, and they don't want it.
There's nothing you can do to change it. I guess you could use a happy light.
Yeah, people start getting like, oh, it's dark in the morning, it's cold, like the weather's sucks. But yeah, I have to buy a new happy light. What I've done is actually kind of made an indoor greenhouse in my bedroom, which may or may not be safe, but my therapist said that the grow lights are actually probably beneficial for me because they put out so many lumens. Mm-hmm. Which is all that really matters.
Yeah, lumens is like the brightness of the light.
And these are like, happy lights are like 10, 15,000 lumens.
Yeah.
They call it lux.
And so just to explain again for people who missed it the first time.
The sun is like 50,000, 100,000.
Right, and a happy light is like a panel of white LED lights that you look at.
They're very small these days.
Yeah, and it's meant to emulate sunlight and kind of...
You have it indirectly pointed at your eyes as you're like reading a book or like the computer or whatever, and just like 10 or 15 minutes, and it tricks your brain into thinking it's summer, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've said that you found those really helpful, which is great.
Yeah. Just getting my circadian rhythm on track is a huge hassle with me all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, circadian rhythms are when your body thinks it's daylight versus nighttime, right?
No, when I just always want it to be night and sleepy time and...
Right, but I'm just saying, like, that's what circadian rhythms are. It's like the rhythm of your awake time and your sleeping time, and it's associated with day and night. I'm just for the crowd who's listening.
Everyone who works a job all day indoors, like, their circadian rhythm's fucked up.
Yeah, if you're stuck in an office all day and you don't have that natural sunlight and everything. That's why my home office faces right out the window, so I can get nice natural light throughout the day. So that's kind of helpful.
You wanted to switch gears a little, you said.
Well, I definitely wanted to talk about the changing of the seasons, and that we've been subjectively noticing in our social circles people getting more irritable and depressed. So that's been kind of a recent collective change, I think. I also wanted to talk to you. You very briefly mentioned last time you were on, you mentioned partial hospitalization. I was wondering if you might want to talk a little bit about what that is, and also intensive outpatient programs, because I know you've done both. And I was wondering, first of all, what is the difference between partial hospitalization and intensive outpatient, aka IOP? And has it been helpful for you?
Can you tell me the different designations for psychologists, counselors that you would find in a typical HMO or healthcare or like, or just even private, what is their license they hold? There's the LCSWs, the licensed clinical social workers, and then there's the PY, like, psych grads, I guess.
I'm Googling it right now, and let's see.
This is just the type of people you would run into if you are interested, and maybe you might need an intensive outpatient program, which is IOP, and that is 9 hours of a really intensive guided therapy in a group per week, 3 hours, 3 times a week in the mornings, 9 to 12. It's supposed to kickstart your circadian rhythm and get you back into the workforce, basically. Because most people who wind up in those are not waking up at 9 a.m. They are waking up at 11, 11:30, 2:30, you know.
Marching to the beat of their own drum.
4:30, you know.
Yeah.
We know some people like...
So yeah, we do. And I just pulled it up. So let me read from this website. Partial Hospitalization Program, PHP. It says it allows patients to spend the night at home and spend the day receiving treatment at a safe, nurturing facility. Patients often dedicate a good portion of the week to receiving personalized, evidence-based care. And then for IOP, it says that...
Can you stop for a second? I asked you to figure out what licensed therapists hold.
Oh, you mean I'm sorry. I missed that question while I was pulling up this information on Google.
I'll explain that better.
There's different types of licenses the therapists hold. One example would be an LCSW, which is Licensed Clinical Social Worker, I believe. That's like one of the lower level certifications.
They're equal.
They're actually not. That's
how little I know. So maybe
okay.
You should explain it, because I only really see LCSWs.
Yeah, so licensed clinical social workers go through a master's program, and then you've got like psychologists who can also be therapists, and they go through PhD or PsyD programs, which is a much higher level of education.
I've only ever seen a PsyD, and I thought it was undergraduate.
No.
It's a doctorate of psychology.
It's a doctorate. Yeah.
Is there an undergraduate of psychology therapy?
No. So like
is there undergrad psychology, and is there any license or like certificate you could hold?
Not that I'm aware of. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, but I'm not a therapist or counselor, and I don't believe that there's undergraduate programs that result in a certification to treat patients.
So,
as far as I'm aware.
Through the Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance.
DBSA.
Yes, it's dbsalliance.org. You can, there is a way to become a peer support counselor or a peer specialist.
That's a lot different.
I know, it's a lot different, but
yeah.
I'm just saying, what kind of like things could you hold in auxiliary that would help you if you wanted to be like some type of like person, like public advocate, maybe, I don't know.
Well,
or someone who you can't see clients per se, but you can be a peer support specialist.
Right, but there's a really key difference there between being a peer. I'm just trying to answer your question. So being like a peer support specialist isn't the same as being a licensed counselor.
I know that. I know.
I'm just explaining for the audience. So there's different levels. Being a peer support counselor is definitely something that people can do. There's like a certain number of hours that you have to do, I think, supervised peer support activities, and then eventually you can get a license to work sometimes for like local governments or nonprofit organizations or volunteer organizations. But that's a lot different than holding like an licensed clinical social worker degree or certification, or of course a PhD, PsyD, or MD.
Okay, so let's just approach this from my angle.
Okay.
So I have a job that has no, let's say, paid sick leave.
Mm-hmm.
I have no health care. I do have Social Security.
Interesting,
which I pay like $8 I don't know. No, they take way more. 1 year I didn't pay it, and it was like $3,000 at tax time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You had to pay the IRS for that?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Because I was a 1099 employee.
A contractor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I feel like people with mental illness know all about.
Being a 1099?
Being independent contractors, or just like scrounging a way to get money to buy like sometimes just medication or therapy.
Being an independent contractor applies to all sorts of different levels of careers and jobs.
Yeah, so I would have no like maternity, but I have a really nice boss.
Okay.
No, and then let me say, sorry, that I got Obamacare, and now I have what the plan I picked tells me is my therapist.
Okay, I just want to clarify really quickly though. So for 1099 contractors, which is a type of employment status in the United States, I'm just explaining for the audience. Typically, those types of positions do not have full health coverage benefits. So that's what Alyssa's talking about.
And then Obamacare, healthcare.gov, they now offer dental.
Really? So you can get health insurance and dental insurance. I was on Obamacare when I was unemployed due to COVID for a while, and I was actually surprised. I got pretty good benefits through it. They're certainly not free benefits. I still had to pay like $200 a month for the coverage, I think. But I was surprised at the quality of like coverage I had for different medications and stuff like that. So the Affordable Care Act / Obamacare really helped me out during that time. I was unemployed for almost a year, so I didn't have insurance coverage through an employer. So that was really important. And if people don't have health insurance, that's something they should look into. Can I just really quickly get back to the difference between partial hospitalization and IOP, just since we brought it up? I just want to read what's on here because we were discussing it earlier.
It's 7 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Okay, but so just
Monday through Friday.
Just hear me out on this, okay? So there's different schedules and stuff.
No, there isn't.
Okay, so there's like one standard schedule typically.
Yes.
Partial hospitalization program, PHP, partial hospitalization program, allows patients to spend the night at home and spend the day receiving treatment at a safe, nurturing facility. Patients often dedicate a good portion of the week to receiving personalized, evidence-based care. Intensive outpatient programs, IOP, is similar to a PHP in that patients receive treatment during the day and return home at night. IOPs tend to have shorter hours than PHP, so they're ideal for patients who are transitioning back into everyday life, work, and family commitments.
What I said.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that I was being correct on that, because
you are very correct on that. And I will just say that PHP is roughly 25 hours a week. It can have a PM schedule for those who have like morning commitments. Not very often, I don't think. And then IOP is 9 hours a week. And it is a crapshoot what therapy or therapeutic approach they're going to approach you with.
Like cognitive behavioral versus dialectical versus whatever.
Versus rational emotive social therapy, I think, versus like identity role. I don't know.
Yeah, so you're saying
There's
it's
so many different approaches.
yeah, and it's a crapshoot as far as what type of particular modality of treatment or of therapy that you would receive at an IOP program, right?
I've pretty much been thrown the Feeling Good Handbook by David Burns.
Okay.
Here's CBT. Read it. Learn it.
Because you've done IOP programs multiple times, so that's why I wanted to ask you about it, because you've got experience with them.
PHP after I was in... Okay. I did inpatient for 3 days.
Inpatient treatment at a psychiatric facility.
Yes. And that scared the shit out of me.
That's the type where you can't leave and you're fully in the hospital for
I couldn't have, camisole tops. I couldn't have bras.
Yeah,
I couldn't have. And I was like a teenage girl, so I was all about like makeup and they're like, no mascara, no nothing.
No shoelaces.
No shoelaces. No ties on your shirt. No paper.
Can I ask you a personal question? Did they like strip search you when you went into that? Yeah.
Yeah. Did they look up your butt? Sorry, I asked that.
When I went into the hospital,
they didn't look in my vagina, so.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It sounds so. There's different types of protocols for different hospitals as far as how they do that. And at the one,
I don't want to mention the name of. It's a very notorious one in the Northern Virginia area, but I won't mention it.
Okay.
But I'm sure a lot of listeners have probably had experience with it over the years.
Yeah, so there's some where they like strip search you, and then like for me, I think they let me just change into a hospital gown, and I had to give them my quote unquote street clothes, as they call it, at those types of facilities.
Yeah, I packed a bag and they like wouldn't let me take anything.
Yeah, it sounds like being like strip searched to go into a hospital. It must
be
be
more
so
the
traumatic.
bars on the window as I would look out at the traffic of like Annandale Road or whatever, some Northern Virginia piece of shit area.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so ugly outside and dreary and just so depressed, but I'm like, I want out of here so fucking bad.
Yeah. It feels like being in jail.
Yeah. And I did it to myself.
Yeah, you were on a voluntary commitment, right? You had chosen to go there.
About 6 months after that, I totaled a all-terrain vehicle and shattered every window in it.
Mm-hmm.
It rolled a lot, maybe. They don't know.
Okay.
But they found an empty bottle of alcohol just like nicely placed in the trunk.
Okay.
Because I would just keep empty bottles of liquor with me because I drank all the time.
Yeah.
As a teenager, I was a bad kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I don't know if COVID has brought you closer to your family or friends or whatever, but
what does the rolling the vehicle, how does that connect to the hospitalization experience that you had? Or were you just kind of changing subjects into moving forward?
I needed way more intensive therapy than I received there.
Got it.
And it was such a horrible experience. It was like a punishment.
Yeah.
And I was afraid until I think it was like 5 years later that I started medication. like from a doctor.
Yeah, they gave you meds at the hospital, and then you got...
No.
They didn't even give you medication there?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
I was under observation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and so you got out, and unfortunately that dangerous
and I just
behavior...
went buck wild.
Yeah.
I like almost didn't graduate high school as a senior.
Wow.
They were gonna like flunk me out of the 12th grade for not showing up. Truancy, I guess. And I was just so exhausted every day after high school that I would just sleep until the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just was not ready to go to Virginia Tech for engineering. So I did a summer program. It was like a pre-engineering program for a month or whatever. And I just like invited my friends down and went to the new river gorge and went whitewater rafting.
That's
and
a
camping.
Beautiful area.
It is. It was great. It was a great time.
So the New River is a long river in West Virginia, and it probably flows through other states
it's a
too.
snake. I think it's one of the only ones that goes like a different direction or something. I don't know.
But the point being, it's a gorgeous,
Beautiful.
absolutely
It's a great
beautiful.
way to not take your engineering pre-college prep course seriously.
Yeah,
And
so you
then-
had some distractions while you were doing the prep course, it sounds
And
like.
I needed intensive psychological treatment. Like I hadn't even heard of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, at that point. I was still cutting. I was burning myself with cigarettes. I was
Self-harm
taking deadly amounts of drugs. I was self-medicating. I was drinking to feel better. I was drinking to be more social. I was drinking to go to sleep. I was using it as a tool to control my moods without medication.
Yeah. I was in a very similar situation for a number of years myself. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, you're using street drugs to treat a mood disorder. It does not work out, and a lot of people die. My sister's ex died.
Wow.
And now there's the Chris Atwood Foundation that they'll give you free Narcan if you need it in your household, just in case.
For
You have
opiate overdoses?
Well, no, unless you have like... It's useful because you never know like who's on opiates these days.
Yeah.
And people can just take too much hydrocodone from the doctor by accident, probably.
Yeah. And the opioid epidemic in America is tremendous right now.
It's
like it is
scary.
affecting like
They
tens
use
and tens of thousands.
fentanyl to make heroin now.
Yeah, it's affecting
it's
tens
heroin.
and tens of thousands of people. It's one of the number one killers in America right now. So it's no fucking joke.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so awful. I'm like, go hippie, go all natural.
What do you mean? Like, keep it organic?
Keep it organic. Grow your own mushies. Have
shrooms, marijuana.
Psilocybin.
Yeah.
Grow your own.
Did you used to take a lot of shrooms when you were in school or in your 20s or whatever?
I had a few very positive experiences with LSD and ecstasy. I think in the reverse order. So like, first I think I was like 16 at my childhood best friend's like 200-year-old Charlottesville farm.
Wow.
It was so scary, and they're like
really
legit afraid of ghosts. Like,
oh my gosh,
so creaky. But we would just lay in the field at 2 a.m. looking at the stars, and I mean, I've seen shooting stars. I see them all the time.
Yeah.
I've seen a star die, which is super rare.
Yeah. You saw like the flash of a supernova. Wow, that must have been amazing.
Not really, because it's kind of small. And then it's just gone.
Still a rare occurrence, though.
They say every time a human is born, a new star is created. And every time someone dies, their star goes out.
Wow.
Wow.
Interesting.
Could be metaphysically true. We'll never know. Probably.
On the topic of psychedelics, just since it came up, when I was in college, I was a big fan of LSD. Had some very, very cool experiences on it, very spiritual experiences. And I thought that it was help treating my depression at the time, but, you know, it's like, I think when you're on drugs like that, like when you're actively tripping, it feels so spiritual and crazy. And you do take some of those lessons back into your day-to-day life. But at the same time, it's not really moving you forward in a sense. But I guess it can be very therapeutic. But I don't think, like, what I'm saying is I wouldn't...
Do you think it was overall beneficial?
I think that their experience...
Or negative?
I think it was beneficial overall, but I think that I did too much of it. I would trip, like, at some points almost every weekend, and I think that was too much.
So you're just taking every little neurotransmitter emitter that you own in your brain and being like, squeeze like a lemon and just flood your
so
blood
much
brain.
Serotonin and
dopamine.
Gosh.
Just cough it up, guys.
Yeah, I did.
Until you don't have any more, right? And you hit depression, and you're using it to fight depression.
I've heard about
and
that
then
with
it's a
MDMA.
vicious circle
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I also did shrooms. I did DMT. I did Molly / MDMA a few times. I wasn't the biggest fan of MDMA. Like, I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like one of those things that I kept coming back to a lot.
Well,
and
you weren't with me. You would have had fun with me.
I bet. But I was using too much of that stuff in those days, and
you're just lucky it wasn't laced with fentanyl.
Yeah.
Because no one had Narcan back then.
Yeah.
You would have died.
Yeah, and I mean, there was also a lot of what my friends and I used to call Chinese acid, which is like 25I and 2CB and stuff like that, which is basically fake acid that makes you trip, but like
It's called a designer drug. It's part of these designer drugs that they manufacture over in who the fuck knows where, China, and it's so toxic for you and so bad for your brain.
There's no way it was good for my brain.
And it's a dirty trip. It's gritty. It's not even fun.
Very uncomfortable. It tastes like battery acid.
And then you throw up battery acid, probably.
Yeah, it's so gross. But with LSD, it's a completely different story. Very clear-headed, very lucid, at least at the doses I was using it at. Very, very interesting mental and
visuals,
like crazy beautiful visuals and really interesting thoughts and feelings and things. I think that I could have gotten the same amount of learning experience from acid with just maybe doing it like 5 times over the course of a few years, rather than doing it like 30 times over the course of like, you know, like
maybe
2 or 3 years.
Legalize and legislate drugs.
Yeah.
And require them like vaccinations. Psychoactive vaccinations.
Require people to trip.
Yeah, no, it brings people closer, I swear to goodness.
It definitely made me realize like the power of love.
All equal, man.
And like everything is interconnected.
No
Yeah.
Everyone's my brother and sister.
Yeah, so I mean, but I was also
anything that spurs empathy in people, especially as they're growing, like that's great.
I was doing all of that during a time in my life where I was very depressed and I should have been on proper medications from it, but I was self-medicating with those drugs. So I wonder what it would be like now that I'm stable and at baseline. I wonder what the experience would be like, because I remember a lot of times after taking acid, I would have like these beautiful spiritual trips, and then I would feel kind of depressed for the following days after it. And I kept wanting to, I'm not saying I was like addicted to LSD or anything, but I kept wanting to explore those experiences further.
You can say that you flooded your brain with serotonin and dopamine, and then you had a drought the days following.
Yeah.
Where your brain was trying to make up the deficit.
Yeah. It was just such a different time in my life. I was in such a different mental place in those days, and it's been a number of years since I've last used.
Wonder if the realizations would be different.
Yeah, exactly. I've been kind of curious. I'm not saying I would go out and do this right now, but I would be curious to like use mushrooms.
It's so funny. You're the bipolar one, but I'm the like ADD AF one. You're saying like, oh yeah, I won't like actually do it. And I'm like, let's hop in the car and go to DC. I promise you we will find some LSD.
Yeah.
It's decriminalized, right? And legal there.
I think psilocybin is now decriminalized in Washington, D.C.
Not good enough. I want lysergic acid.
Lysergic.
I want lysergic acid, please.
Well, I prefer LSD to psilocybin.
I've never had DMT, and it's like
DMT is too crazy.
I don't know that.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that I like don't want you. You choose your life.
Have you had it?
Yes.
What do you mean too crazy?
I mean that on a DMT trip, there's like.
Well, I expect everything to go to shit. Like,
well, let me just answer
on.
your to answer your question. The thing with the DMT is like, whereas with LSD and psilocybin and stuff, it comes in waves. It's a more controllable experience in some senses. It's more clear-headed. And then you have DMT, which is, I believe, the most powerful psychedelic drug currently known. And it is like you are transported to a different fucking dimension. There are the craziest visuals you'll ever see, like spiraling all around you. It feels.
I've seen them all though.
DMT is just next level. Mm-hmm. It's you've never tried
I've
DMT.
I've had the dreams.
How would you know?
I know. My dreams are very realistic.
I'm sure they are. DMT might be a different type of dream for you, though.
I'm a visual artist.
Maybe you would have a super, super, super hard DMT
and my
experience.
Imagination are everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel as though it would. Like, I always hear, like, from drug counselors, people who are.
Can we, is it okay to tell the audience that you've been through like intensive drug rehab programs and stuff in your life now? Is that okay to share that?
It was dual diagnosis.
Right. And for like like substance abuse and also
mental health disorders.
Right.
So there was like some with anxiety, some with like had sexual trauma in their past, and others were like just awkward.
And that was like at an inpatient kind of setting.
Mm-hmm. A lot of battered women brought together.
That's so sad.
I was brought from that's why I was there. Because I was in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And
so there were a lot of different things that brought you there, and the substance abuse component was just part of it.
It came hand in hand because he was a drug dealer in Reston.
Okay.
And
Reston, Virginia, located in Northern Virginia.
Yes.
Near the DC area.
The first planned community in the United States of America.
Reston is the first planned community. Okay, and that's interesting trivia. So what? This guy was a dealer, and you were dating him, and
he had gone to my high school. He was, I believe, a year or two older. Like, he got kicked out to Herndon High, which is we would, the ghetto high school,
quote unquote ghetto by Northern Virginia terms. Hey, this is Hunter. Just a quick note. This is one of the sections that we decided to remove because it was a little bit too personal in terms of subject matter. Let's just skip ahead just a little bit in the interview, and we'll continue from there. You're very big on the 12-step program, and I'm very not big on it. That's a difference between us. How would you say the 12-step program has helped you? What have you taken from it, and what have you left from it?
So, I got indoctrinated one summer into the Alcoholics Anonymous fellowship.
Was that at the inpatient rehabilitation center you were at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where that was part of their model. And these were women who used meth, almost died multiple times. From
overdoses that
were brought back to life,
resuscitated, and yeah. So like very,
marks,
very severe.
Getting beaten, selling themselves for drugs.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And the worst of the worst, no self-esteem. Everyone was a chain smoker, but everyone was just so fucking funny. Like, I get why us beautiful, strong, independent females get beaten down by the society we live in with all this male hierarchy and the drugs and alcohol and unequal work system, and I feel like we're getting replaced by robots soon, probably, like all people are. And then they'll rule the world. No. And fix all their problems because robots are smart.
So let's get back to 12-step.
Yeah. The first thing...
Not that what you just said wasn't very interesting, but...
What you can do is go to aa.org.
Okay.
And you will find a link that says find a local group, and you click on that. Enter your zip code, your city, state, and you'll find many meetings around you that you had no idea were going on, and a lot of them are very good meetings frequented by very strong, spiritually rock solid individuals that have like an epic sense of humor that can only be gained by losing one's life already.
Succumbing to drugs and alcohol and then recovering?
No, having had lost, or like having died before.
Oh, like a near-death experience.
Brought back to life.
Yeah, probably gives you some more perspective on things.
And that's kind of the third step of the program is you have to make a decision to live this, come to this new life, accept this new life, accept that there is more out there than we understand.
Yeah.
Yep. And it seems to follow some orders. The first thing I would suggest is just drop by a meeting. If it's in a, church basement or something, bring a mask, be vaccinated, but they will gladly give you the free basic text of Alcoholics Anonymous with the editor.
The big book.
The big book, the author's note and the epilogue, and it is the Bible for
the
alcoholics.
AA Bible, meaning
Sorry about
the
that.
big book. We just took a quick Google search on it, written by a guy named Bill W., I believe.
I believe it's Bill Watson,
Okay.
and I believe he was a traveling salesman, I think, and just the worst of the worst.
Like a really hardcore alcoholic.
Gonna die alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was back in like the 1930s, right?
30s
Roughly.
into 40s, yeah.
Okay.
And he had, as a lot of people do, a spiritual awakening where, you know, some people say God spoke to me, or just like I had a revelation.
Yeah.
Or as we were talking about, like that acid trip really made me think of things differently. But he had a spiritual experience that where he just accepts God's will for him and humanity and asks for courage to carry that will out or something.
Okay.
Just
They're kind of like...
hold on, wait.
Okay. I mean, you know this stuff way better than I do, so...
Okay, step 1, admitted we were powerless over our addiction and that our lives had become unmanageable. You have to
Right.
truly believe that. 2, we made a searching...
You don't... It's okay. You don't have to
No.
repeat it word for word.
We admitted we were wrong and... Please help me.
So
3.
one of the effects of
I know.
ECT is short-term memory loss, and it can, even though Alyssa knows
This
this
is
stuff...
programmed into my soul,
Right.
psyche. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to ourselves another human being and our higher power, the exact nature of our wrongs. Would you please say the 12 steps?
Yeah, let me read through it right now. So here...
They're very important.
Yeah, I just pulled it up on Google. Like I said, Alyssa's a lot more familiar with the 12-step program than I am, but here are the 12 steps, and this is the abridged version. But 1 is we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable.
Hey, wait, and that can be interjected to
With any drug.
Any addiction.
Any type of addiction.
Okay.
2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a
That's
decision.
so funny. I forgot that part. Okay, go on.
3 is made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. And the final step, 12, is having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to be we tried to carry the message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. So those are the 12 steps.
And they are a big deal.
Yeah, they're very important, and they're very helpful to lots of people. Let's be clear.
And there is something called the sponsor-sponsee relationship. It is explained in the big book. If you do ever have a chance, just, curiosity, because he was also diagnosed with a mental illness, I believe, the founder, Bill W. And there's so many case studies in the original text. I believe he was a traveling doctor or something.
You said earlier he was a traveling salesman, and now you're saying he was a traveling doctor, so...
I think he's Dr. Bill W. I mean, this is just my ECT memory, little flicks.
ECT makes it hard to remember certain things, but if you want to keep talking, I can pull it up. If you want to, why don't we focus on what you've gained from those 12 steps, and for you personally, what's helped you from them, and I'll pull up this guy's full story while you're doing that.
It is also such an excellent cure for social anxiety and agoraphobia and any sort of social insecurity that one might feel, especially, and attending an AA meeting virtually or in person, there are bound to be, I'd say 75% of the people there have been diagnosed with a mental illness at some point in their lives. And if not, they know someone personally who has been with a serious mental illness, or an SMI as they like to call it, which is usually bipolar 1 with psychotic features, major depressive disorder, recurrent with psychotic features.
Okay, so I was just reading up on Bill W. while you were speaking, so...
He's like the hero of it.
Yeah, so here's the whole thing with the name. His full name was William Griffith Wilson. He went by Bill Wilson, or Bill W., and he was the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous.
With the doctor.
With the doctor, I guess, who he met at a rehabilitation center in the 1930s. And I guess those guys co-founded it or something.
Yeah, they're like, why can't either of us figure this out?
I just skimmed the Wikipedia page, so this is not a very thorough
What was
breakdown.
The doctor's name again?
William Duncan Silkworth. Does that sound right?
Dr. Silkworth. Dr. Biller William Silkworth.
Okay. So, yeah, so this is like old school kind of philosophy that has carried over for now well over 80 years. It's a long-standing tradition. It's often referred to as one of the most common treatments for addiction.
I'd say almost 100 years.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, 1930s, and now it's the 2020s. So, yeah.
And I think these ideas were in the works before the book was made.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's an interesting system. It helps a whole lot of people.
They were treated back then with ECT.
Yeah.
They talk all about it in the book.
Really?
They go very in depth to the psychiatric processes that faced a lot of these people getting sent away, being committed.
Was there anything you were saying while I was looking that up that you would like me to respond to, or anything else that you'd like to share? Because I was just reading through the Wikipedia page as you were explaining your experiences with AA.
AA, it is founded on a system based on anonymity and respect and equal. Everyone has an equal say. Like, sure, there is a meeting leader, but like everyone has a position. Like, people do chores. Service work is very important in AA.
Yeah, volunteering. Yeah,
and so, and it it can sometimes be like herding cats, certain meetings, but others are they just naturally flow.
And for you, the 12-step program kind of extends beyond just drug addiction, because
I was forced to get a sponsor.
You still
go through the steps.
You
and
still
I still drink.
Yeah.
Like, I feel as though I completed
but you
step
don't,
12.
Right, but you don't drink excessively, just to be clear. Like, you normally drink in moderation around you. So for you, what was your drug of choice? Was it alcohol or was it something else?
It was vodka. Now I can't even drink vodka or smell it.
So your drug of choice was alcohol?
And I mean, I was introduced to THC when I was 13. I was introduced to alcohol when I was 12. I was introduced to Adderall when I was 17 and MDMA when I was 16.
So how do you integrate the 12 steps with the fact that you still use alcohol?
What, I just I frown at myself in the mirror as no.
Well, so let's put it this way. It's still something that you're actively working on and that you're using the 12 steps to...
I'll say that there are a lot of people who drop out of the program because they have been diagnosed with a mental health
disorder.
I hate calling it a disorder.
Disease, ailment.
A mental health situation. And they get driven out because there's this no pharmaceutical approach, no medicine approach. Sometimes a lot of old timers, you got to go cold turkey.
Old timers are kind of like the colloquial term for AA guys who have been in the program for decades, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And very stable members of not just AA, but of society, their neighborhood, their place of business. They built their lives back up from nothing. Mm-hmm. And that's the most powerful part of AA. Seeing people who were living in gutters, mm-hmm. and now they run businesses or whatever, or teach children, or just completely change their lives around. And that's the person, but it's all, don't ever say your last name in AA. Mm-hmm. Hi, my name is Alyssa T, and I am an alcoholic and addict.
Yeah, there's an etiquette to it.
Hi, Alyssa, or hey, Alyssa T.
Yeah. Yeah, so 12-step system works well for a lot of people. I think we've gotten into it pretty extensively. It sounds like you've drawn different lessons from it. You still use alcohol in moderation, but for you, the teachings kind of extend just beyond.
I'm not using alcohol to make myself act better anymore.
You're not self-medicating with it. You're not abusing it.
So I'm using it to relax now instead of to make me more social or make me funnier or some weird thing like that.
So for you, it's been more of harm reduction rather than total abstinence.
Yeah.
At least that's how you've personally incorporated it. It's been a way for harm reduction.
If I can get under a drink a day, kudos.
Yeah.
And that's great. And I try to reward myself for the days that I don't drink and be proud of that. But I would like to I do miss being a part of the program. And especially I had a sponsee.
Oh,
and
really?
I was teaching her.
So you were totally sober at that time?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I started CBD.
Okay.
And then I got kicked out of Oxford for it.
Oxford House, which is a sober living community in Northern Virginia, right?
Mm-hmm. All of Virginia.
Okay. So it's statewide, mm-hmm. and it's
nationwide too.
Oh, nationwide! Wow. And so that was a sober living house that you were in for a period of time for women. And you used CBD, which is the non-psychoactive form of marijuana. It comes from hemp.
My thought process was, this 55-year-old woman chain smokes 17 cigarettes on the front porch.
Yeah.
You know, why can't I smoke one joint
of CBD?
Right. Yeah, like one cigarette, one rolled equivalent.
And they kicked you out for that? Did they like drug test you or something, or just someone?
My esteem was so low. I just felt so bad that I lied to them and tried to hide it.
Okay.
And even though it wasn't technically a rule that I could get kicked out on, I willingly left.
Okay.
And that's just a history of me making bad decisions for myself, which comes with mood shifts.
Shifting moods, shifting self-esteem, that cycle of depression.
Overwhelming moods.
Right.
And emotions.
Right. Okay. This has been a really, really deep conversation that's gone a lot of different ways. I do have a list here of other topics if you want to take a quick look. Just before we wrap up, if there's anything on there, because we spent a lot of time talking about drug addiction. So I just wanted to kind of move back to depression.
What do you do to lower your depression and irritation levels proactively in your daily life, Hunter?
That's a question for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to answer it, Alyssa. Well, for me, creativity is extremely important. I play guitar. I'm a musician. So I like to try to focus on those things when I'm having negative thoughts. If I have the energy to work on a creative project, then that's awesome. That helps keep my mind on the rails. I would say artistic output is probably the number one thing, and working on moonlight projects, stuff beyond my day job that keeps me occupied. My day job also does provide a lot of really important structure to my life. So that's important.
I will attest. I saw you before it, and you were losing your head.
When Alyssa and I first met, I was unemployed due to COVID, and then after a few months of us dating, I found a full-time job, and then I got back into that more structured schedule. So that helps keep me feeling productive too. That's something I proactively do. I really pride myself on the work that I do, both at my day job and for these like moonlight endeavors, as I try to call them sometimes.
How are you keeping your body physically healthy?
Oh man, well...
And all the health care that goes into that.
It's a interesting question, because I used to be extremely physically healthy, and then after about a year ago, I got diagnosed with hyperthyroidism, which totally killed my energy levels, and I totally got out of the routine of working out consistently. So physical health is extremely important, and that's something that I've been neglecting over the last year or so. I've been thinking about getting back into Pilates, which is a really, really great workout, and it's easy because you can just do it on a yoga mat in your own house or apartment. So that's something that I've really been procrastinating on, and I need to get back into. I do try to eat consistently, trying to keep my blood sugar levels.
What did you just get in the mail today?
Oh yeah, so like I drink protein shakes sometimes because I have difficulty eating.
Well, you supplement your nutrition with extra good shit.
Yeah, with like, nutritional shakes and stuff like that. I try to eat 3 meals a day. My therapist has told me that this is super important because of blood sugar levels and things like that, because that can lead to mood swings. So I try to eat as healthy as I can. I take Adderall, so that lowers appetite a lot. So that can make it tricky to eat. So that's why I have incorporated like smoothies and stuff into my diet, because it's almost like a cheat meal. Like you can just crush a smoothie in like 2 seconds.
There are certain stimulating medications that can make it feel a little like a chore to eat. So Hunter is supplementing with protein goodness.
Muscle milk gainer is what I drink.
Creatinine probably.
Has all sorts of shit in it. And you can't use that
just
for
like
every meal
man
of the
needs.
day.
At least one of them a day.
Yeah, I can't use that for every meal though. So I do have to eat normal food as well.
My next endeavor on top of social life is physical life.
Yeah, we've been talking about
physical exertion life.
Yeah.
As in, I also was able in the past to be able to run 10 miles nonstop and bike way further on mountain trails, and now I feel like a little weakling.
Yeah, me too.
And it's just kind of me mirroring how I feel about myself. I know it. I don't feel good enough to deserve to work out, and that's depression talking.
Yeah, that's the depression in your head talking to you, telling you can't achieve things.
Yeah, so if any viewers definitely have questions,
any listeners,
or sorry, any potters,
any pod
recipients,
podcast enthusiasts,
have any questions regarding mental health and any spectrum of the, from before diagnosis to all the different various treatments for all the different various disorders that are out there that have psychoactive and some biological components. Low blood sugar, as Hunter mentioned, is a huge one that people with mood disorders should definitely be on top of. Light, dark, sleep-wake cycles.
Circadian cycles.
I mean, that can be a little too much for like people to say, but just like get enough sunlight. Get an hour a day somehow without a window, because most windows have UV filters in them these days.
Okay.
Like open the fucking window or something, and just the ambient light or just sit out there for like 4 breaks.
Yeah, sit outside, get some fresh air, try to get some natural sunlight. If you have addiction issues, consider checking out AA, or if you're like me, I enjoy Smart Recovery, which is an alternative to AA that's been really helpful. Yeah, maybe I can get into that in a later episode or something. What other tools have we talked about?
I wanted to talk about all the different types of foundations and programs and alliances and fellowships that someone navigating this world of mental health confusion in either themselves or their friends or family probably have a lot of questions about all the different various types of treatments. And as far as support groups or therapeutic approaches, we tried to address the voluntary therapeutic approaches today through most healthcare systems. I've never been to a private intensive outpatient or partial hospitalization. It's always been HMO funded, or like, I don't even know what that means. Health, medical.
I was about to ask you what HMO funded means, but what you mean is it's like covered by insurance.
Yes, it
Okay.
is included in my plan.
Okay.
Which I specifically looked for behavioral health services.
Right.
And I can't even see my therapist once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And she's getting up there. I swear she's like 67.
Yeah, so what, she might die soon?
No, just retire. I don't even know why she wants to be a therapist. I couldn't imagine.
My therapist has told me that she is in it for the long haul, that she's in it for the love of the game. So maybe your 67-year-old therapist is in the same boat.
Yeah, there's just so many people out there who need mental health counseling and are not receiving it and are ignorant of the fact that they need any and are arrogant of it and prideful, and there's such stigma surrounding it. Like, oh, you're crazy. Oh, don't talk to her. She's fucking insane. Or like, she's done some crazy shit. You don't want to get involved.
Right. So one of the purposes of this podcast, of course, is to reduce the stigma against mental illness and mental health treatment. So everything you just said is really important. I wanted to ask you, though, you mentioned that you wanted to talk about a couple of organizations that are helping promote mental health awareness and mental health recovery. Were there any that immediately came to mind? We talk pretty frequently about DBSA, Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance, but there's many, many other organizations in the United States and around the world that help support those types of communities.
There's alliances for survivors of alien abductions. Like, there's a support group for everything. You will find it for your specific mental health need.
Yeah, National Alliance on Mental Illness is a really, really big organization in the U.S. that is another example of an organization that...
NAMI.org, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's their website. What's another one? Can we think of another one off the top of our heads?
Yes. There's SAMHSA, the Society of Alcohol and Health and Substance Abuse Enthusiasts.
Are you talking about SAM?
Yeah, SAMHSA.
Yeah, it's SAMHSA.
SAMHSA.gov.
It stands for Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services. And just like Alyssa said, she's the website is...
No way. Don't tell me it's down. Oh, okay. Sorry.
No. I'm saying that the URL that you said is right. It's SAMHSA.gov. So if you feel like you might need that resource, that's out there too. We've just named a couple of them. There's countless organizations out there seeking to treat people with mental health.
I would also
problems.
encourage people to check out what's the thing where you meetup.com. Meetup.com. Yeah, check out meetups around you. They have like book clubs or just like silver diner enthusiasts meet once every month.
Like if there's a local restaurant that people like to meet
That's
at.
what my past counselor would always recommend.
Yeah, just to socialize and get out there and meet new people and
just get out there. Because I don't know about anyone else, but I'm afraid of catching coronavirus again, and I am now agoraphobic. And I get it now.
Agoraphobia is the fear of going outside because of fear of
open places.
Fear of open places. I looked that up since the last time we spoke because I remember that I couldn't remember the exact definition off the top of my head, but apparently that's what agoraphobia means.
Agora? Like, what base root word is that?
Agoraphobe Noun, a person with an extreme or irrational fear of entering open or crowded places. There we go. That's the definition.
What's the root word?
I don't know what the root word
Agora. Okay, also I was going to ask, have any internet forums that you've visited recently helped?
I'm on Reddit a lot. I like the
Reddit.com.
Reddit.com. It's a website it's just all sorts of different forums and stuff. But there's r/bipolar and then r/bipolar Reddit. Those are some pretty good communities where people talk about bipolar topics, their struggles, their successes, their treatments, whatever. Those are pretty good. And of course, online meetings, virtual support groups have been good. DBSA has been virtual for the last at least 1 year.
Does Bipolar Reddit have 2 R's or 1?
I believe it has 2 R's.
Okay.
It's the word bipolar and then the word Reddit.
REDDIT.
Yep. Okay, so we've talked about we've been talking for a really, really long time, but we've covered a whole lot of subject area.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what's
Anything
your number
else?
one goal for this winter?
I think my number one goal is going to be to get back in shape. I want to start working out again and getting physically healthier.
There's nothing I hate more than working out when it's freezing out.
That's why Pilates is good, because like I was saying earlier, you can just do it in your house or in your apartment. All you need is a yoga mat. So I think that's probably the next thing that's going to be on my list.
All I can suggest for anyone who is currently suffering while listening to this podcast and needs some help, I would suggest find a psychologytoday.com has all therapists near you for any disorder you have, and I would recommend seeing your medical doctor, who can then refer you to a counselor or therapist, and they're pretty much treated equal in the healthcare space these days.
So just
as far as patients go, and
wait,
I'm recommending that people should probably see a counselor at least once a month, therapist once a month. I mean, either or.
Right, but so you're talking about psychologytoday.com, which is an online resource where you can quickly find...
If you don't have health insurance or anything.
Or if you do have health insurance, you can search by insurance providers. You can search by the types of credentials.
Nice.
It's a really, really good resource if you're trying to find a therapist or a psychiatrist.
I found my favorite ever one.
Me too. I've found almost all of my doctors and therapists over the last few years have been from Psychology Today. And so that's a really, really good resource. So thank you for mentioning that.
And then she left me with no reason.
Not all therapists are going to be good therapists. It's worth saying.
She was so good. It was so traumatic.
Did she drop you or retire or what?
I think she had some serious medical health issues.
That's unfortunate.
Maybe something like a hysterectomy or something.
Oh my God.
You never know, and you always have to be on the ready to get a new therapist if you feel you need a therapist. Follow their advice. Don't be argumentative with them. Take everything with a grain of salt, sure.
I've had bad therapists before. There's bad therapists out there. You just gotta find the right one who works for you and who can help you meet your goals.
It's so fucking hopeless for those who have no hope.
Yeah, having a bad therapist is not a good situation to be in.
And then
being
able to afford a psychiatrist or the medication.
Okay, if you have a shitty therapist, consider finding a new one on Psychology Today or elsewhere.
Who can probably recommend you to a psychiatrist.
Yeah, that's a really good point too. Thank you for that.
And that is everything I think I Yeah, socialization is super hard during COVID, but I think I got my social outlet done for this week. Thanks, Hunter. And
I'm
audience.
so glad I was able to be your social outlet this week.
I have so much to give.
It's such a pleasure having you, and
So much
thank you for
insight,
coming back.
wisdom, and I've been told I'm an enigma.
An enigma?
Yeah.
Why are you an enigma?
You'll never know. That's why I'm an enigma.
You're so hard to solve. A puzzle. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for listening today. I really appreciate it. My name is Hunter Keegan. I was joined by Alyssa Taylor for the second time. So, Alyssa, thank you so much for coming back on. Loved having you.
I am on Twitter at /Alyssa Tee, and you can find me Facebook, Instagram, what the fuck ever. And he has a website and a book.
Yeah, the website is bipolarrecorder.com for the podcast. My personal portfolio of work is hhkeegan.com. I'm on Twitter at hhkeegan. The podcast is on Twitter at Bipolar Recorder. My book is called
Anywhere
My Brain.
you get your podcast.
Yeah,
apples.
Bipolar Recorder is available on all major podcast streaming platforms. And my book, my memoir that came out about a year ago, is titled My Brain is Trying to Kill Me, and it's available on Amazon.
It's a real-time experiential recording of what it was like to go through manic depression in college.
My book?
Yeah,
my book goes pretty
raw.
hard. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's been described as very raw. A lot of people have said that it's very raw, very like vulnerable is another word that comes up a lot when people have reviewed it. But yeah, so it's My Brain is Trying to Kill Me. And
which I'm
it's
sure
out there.
we've all felt if we have bipolar or depression at one point or another. And with that, have an excellent holiday weekend.
Thank you. This won't be going up until after the holiday weekend, but wherever you are in the world, we hope you're having a great day.
And I hear
great night.
No more white after Labor Day, right?
No white after Labor Day, but it's not Labor Day.
Oh, wait, I got it backwards. No white after.
It's Indigenous Peoples Day.
What?
Is the one this weekend.
Oh.
Thank you so much for joining us for this conversation today. This is definitely the longest episode we've recorded so far, and I hope it's the first of many more to come. My name is Hunter Keegan. This was Bipolar Recorder. As we were saying at the end of the episode, you can find Bipolar Recorder on Twitter at Bipolar Recorder, and you can find me on Twitter at hhkeegan. You can also check out bipolarrecorder.com or my personal site, hhkeegan.com. Thank you so much for listening. Bipolar Recorder is a listener-supported show. To help keep the show running, consider checking out our Patreon page or visiting bipolarrecorder.com to support via PayPal.
Unless otherwise stated, the hosts and guests on Bipolar Recorder are not licensed mental health professionals. Bipolar Recorder is not a substitute for therapy or professional medical intervention. If you are having a mental health crisis, please contact your local emergency services.